This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
All right, welcome. Glad you decided to be a part of the Georgia Farm Monitor. I am one half of your hosting team, Ray DeLessio.
And I'm the other half. I'm Kenny Burgamy. Coming up on the show, plenty of buzz surrounding the Georgia Tech campus, and we're not talking about their mascot. See how this honeybee project is helping researchers understand how urbanization is affecting the honeybee population. Also on the program, Senator David Perdue talks about the future of Georgia agriculture and why farmers and producers shouldn't be concerned about the views of both presidential candidates when it comes to the industry.
And then later, got a poison ivy problem? Maybe you're not even sure how to identify it. Well, Walter Reeves is here to help. What to look for and how to safely get rid of it if you do find it. These stories and more starting right now on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Some researchers at Georgia Tech spend more time thinking about honeybees than they do yellow jackets. As we found out, Tech is now the second university in the U.S. that has been designated as a bee campus. As most of us learned in school, bees play a valuable role in our ecosystem and in the world of agriculture. Scientists tell us that the honeybee population is a dying species. On one of the rooftops at Georgia Tech in downtown Atlanta, Jennifer Levy is working to integrate bees into a city environment with the school's Urban Honeybee Project.
We want to demonstrate that there are very interesting physics applications, engineering applications, computing applications that relate to biology and allow people with an innate interest in biology to then bridge into those fields through things like studying honeybees. We have students who have taken data from Trees Atlanta and from the city of Atlanta about where different trees are located in the city, and then created maps that demonstrate where the good habitats are for bees in the city of Atlanta. So that's something that uses a lot of computer programming skills, but is directly relevant to people who want to keep honeybees in Atlanta.
With projections from the USDA that nearly 45% of honeybee colonies in America died off in recent years, Levy said she wants to create new homes for the insects and teach her students about protecting the ecosystem.
Disease is the last and most important threat to bees. So we've had probably the worst threat to bees is the Varroa destructor mite. And that jumped from an Asian honeybee species into the bees that we keep here in North America in around the mid-'80s. And it's like a little tick, you know. It attaches to the bees and it sucks their blood. And it also spreads viruses, just the way ticks can spread diseases to humans. And so the viral diseases that bees catch from those mites, as well as being weakened by the mites themselves, are the biggest threats to honeybees. And then those mites can also cause damage to native bees. So it's been demonstrated that those mites have jumped onto bumblebees even, which are a whole different genera than honeybees are. And honeybees are cavity nesters. So, I mean, we keep them in cavities in the form of beehives in our backyards, but they naturally can occupy all kinds of cavities, you know, like cavities people don't like them to live in, like the hollow space between the outside of your house and the inside of your house. But also there are plenty of abandoned spots, hollow trees in urban areas where feral bees can make their homes as well.
Levy and a group of students have added a honeybee cam to raise awareness of the threats that honeybees face.
I mean, people love honeybees. You think about bees and you think about honey, but people get bees and wasps confused all the time, right? So wasps include things like yellow jackets that look just a lot like bees. That's part of the reason why we decided to study bees here at Georgia Tech, is because our mascot looks a lot like a bee. We're not going to study yellow jackets. That's just would be a glutton for punishment, right?
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. In other ag news, two things are obvious when it comes to Georgia U.S. Senator David Perdue. Number one, he really feels the ag industry here in Georgia has a bright future. And number 2, he is a big fan of the Georgia Farm Monitor. As part of his visits throughout the state as well as the country, Senator Perdue sporting his new hat commemorating the show's 50th anniversary. He was the keynote speaker at the recent Henry County, Clayton County Member Appreciation Dinner. And when asked about the 2 presidential hopefuls and their policies regarding the ag industry, the senator telling the Monitor he is hopeful that a compromise can be accomplished.
When I'm trying to offer influence right now in my ideas about how to grow the economy and get our consumer demand up and so forth, but also how to create a level playing field internationally so our agriculture products can compete on an even playing field. I mean, it's just that easy. I understand we have 2 presidential candidates that are against TPP, but that doesn't mean it's dead. That means that if we bring it to the Senate and the House in the right way where we can amend it, we might be able to get that thing resolved to a point where we can actually get some of the things that we want to accomplish without all the detrimental.
In the meantime, tucked away in the suburban area of Coweta County is where you will find Windy Hill Dairy, a 3rd-generation farm founded back in 1980.
Damon Jones tells you how the Butcher family takes great pride in not only their operation, but also spreading the story of agriculture to the surrounding community.
Farming is generally a business that you're born into, and there's no better example of that than Windy Hill Dairy in Coweta County, where you'll find 3 different generations working side by side. It's a unique experience that none of them take for granted.
What I've learned working with my dad has, I feel like is invaluable. I can't put a price on that, and I can't even quantify how privileged I feel to be able to have learned, work side by side with my father and learn from him and learn from his mistakes, and then make my own mistakes, and then, that my daughter has come into the business, and hopefully she will have the same appreciation and be able to, learn the same way I did.
Being able to work with family and the animals, I've just always had a passion for cows. Just really awesome experience to be able to work with family every day. I mean, most days my dad and my grandpa are here, so I don't know many other people that get to experience that.
This more than 300-acre farm uses some of the latest technology and farming practices that not only provide them with the highest quality product, but also earned them an Environmental Stewardship Award. It's a responsibility they don't take lightly.
You got to take care of what takes care of you. You got to take care of the land. Some of the things we do is we recycle all of our wastewater, so all of these corn crops that we grow, that is grown with the waste from the dairy cows.
Speaking of corn, the Butcher family grows most of the feed they give to their cows, which allows them to monitor its quality. It's a practice that has multiple benefits.
Well, animal health is critical, and not only for their well-being, but for productivity as well. So a well-balanced ration is incredibly important, and that begins with quality roughage. You get out what you put into something.
Surrounding this operation is a number of houses and subdivisions as the area has become more urbanized. It provides the family a chance to spread the story of agriculture without really leaving the farm.
This is a unique opportunity for us. It definitely gives us an opportunity to talk to the people in Coweta County and the surrounding areas about the importance of agriculture in our community. As more and more houses are built, more and more people come into the community that are unfamiliar with agriculture, it gives us a prime opportunity to educate them on where their food comes from.
However, that doesn't mean they don't get out into the community, as Tori regularly speaks to groups all across the county.
For people to be able to put a face, with the dairy industry, so they can actually talk to a farmer themselves and, ask me questions rather than trying to go to Google for answers or things like that.
The Butchers are also extremely active in 4-H as they head up the show team in the county. In fact, they take it so seriously they had a show barn built so kids could practice right on their farm.
More than anything, we like to be able to give back, and to have a young person that lives in a subdivision that could even be one that's growing up around us, and be able to come here, and when they get done with our program, this dairy heifer program through 4-H, that when they leave this program, they have an actual understanding of what goes into producing the food that goes onto their table. It's incredible.
Reporting from Coweta County, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.
When we come back, kicking off the college football season with some incredible recipes for your next tailgate. Meals from the Field is next when the Farm Monitor continues. Quick question, what's the largest industry in Georgia? Agriculture is Georgia's #1 industry, contributing more than $72 billion each year to the state's economy. Yet it seems that people know less than ever about farmers and how they grow our food and fiber. But that can change. The GFB Foundation for Agriculture was created to help support agricultural education in Georgia. The activities of the foundation are based upon 4 pillars, the 4 areas that form the core of our work to tell the story of Georgia agriculture. The first pillar is the Ag in the Classroom program, which connects students and teachers to the production of food and fiber. Helping children understand where food comes from and how it gets on their plate will always be a priority for us. The Ag in the Classroom program provides teachers with the necessary tools to meet that goal. Educational outreach is the foundation's second pillar. Reaching young people is vital, but we also work to educate teachers and consumers. Teacher workshops are an efficient, effective way to reach educators across the state and develop in them a deeper understanding of food. Our third pillar is scholarships. The foundation strives to provide students with opportunities for educational success. Our scholarship program assists students pursuing college degrees in agriculture-related studies. Leadership development is our fourth pillar. As we work toward a bright future for our state, we must develop young leaders through education and training. The foundation helps Georgia 4-H and Georgia FFA continue the great work they do with youth development. We also work with organizations around Georgia, including Georgia Farm Bureau, on developing strong leaders to guide our communities. We believe we have a responsibility to develop the leaders of tomorrow. Through the foundation, we can help build a solid basis by which our future leaders can learn and grow while understanding Georgia agriculture and the role it plays in our economy. As we pursue our goal of growing a healthy future for Georgia, we could use your help. Your support provides the resources that make our work possible, and any gift, large or small, is appreciated. Please consider making a donation today.
Yes, indeed. Fire up that fight song, break out all that college swag, all your favorite team apparel, because college football season is here and it is time to tailgate. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Meals from the Field. As always, I am joined by my friend, my co-host for this episode, Marcia Crowley. So good to see you again, Marcia.
Good to see you, Ray.
Football is back.
I know.
Even though you're an Auburn fan, an Auburn grad, we still love you.
Thank you.
We don't hold that against you. But football season is here.
It's here.
And every year at this time, we talk about tailgating stuff. So what kind of tailgate food do we have here today?
Well, when I think of tailgating, I think it's something that's got to be either prepared ahead and taken or grill.
Okay.
Well, we're doing prepared ahead today. Okay, the first thing is a pasta chicken salad, and this is a package of frozen cheese tortellini.
Right.
We're going to add to that 2 pounds of cooked chicken, and you could use a rotisserie chicken in this if you wanted, or you could cook it like I did. It's going to taste the same. We're going to add to that 1 small red onion that has been like ringed, cut in slices and then cut in half. And then we're going to add a 4-ounce jar of marinated artichoke hearts, which some people don't like artichoke hearts. You could leave them out completely. Okay. And then the dressing, it's a homemade dressing. It's olive oil, vinegar, sugar, basil, and garlic.
Where's the green coming from?
The green is the basil.
The basil, okay.
Yes, the basil. And you mix all that up in a blender or a NutriBullet, which is what I did because I was into smoothies for like a day and had to find another use for it. So you're just going to toss that together. You can make it the night before and you can take it to your tailgate. And this is a really good recipe. I have made the pasta without the chicken, so it's a very versatile recipe and people love it.
But you need protein along
You've
with
gotta
your
have
carbohydrates.
Way better
so
with
that's
the
perfect.
chicken.
Right.
All right, let's see if we can do this without breaking something. Right. The next thing is a spinach dip. Shrimp, sorry, big difference. This is an 8-ounce package of cream cheese softened with 2 tablespoons of milk just to help it combine better. You're going to add to that a 4.5-ounce can of canned tiny shrimp.
Not
Now,
the big jumbo shrimp.
Not the, well, I don't, that would be like 2. Now, if you wanted to use fresh shrimp, obviously you could, about a cup of chopped. You know, it would be a good use for leftovers. Put that in there. A little bit of garlic powder. This is green onion, green pepper, and yellow onion.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yellow pepper. I don't think they make yellow onions. Yeah, they do. And a teaspoon of chopped fresh tarragon. And you mix all this together. Obviously, you can do this ahead. And this is really good with crackers or fresh vegetables if you want your tailgate to be a little bit on the healthy side.
Right. Obviously, for more people, a little bit more
You could double it,
ingredients.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's really easy. It mixes up just that quickly.
Okay.
I guess the most time-consuming thing is letting the cream cheese soften.
Because you know, you always have that one tailgate friend that hangs out around the dip and eats half the dip.
It's half the dip.
So.
All right, this is the best recipe. We're calling these peanut butter and jelly brownies.
Nice.
All right, in the bottom of this pan, we have the usual suspects: flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, a cup of chunky peanut butter, and a cup of peanut butter morsels.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to spread a cup of strawberry jam. I suppose you could use grape. The strawberry is so good, I'd hate to change it, and the color would obviously not be the same.
I'm glad you clarified that, because when I first saw that when I walked in, I thought it was cranberry sauce. I'm like, why are we going to put cranberry sauce on cookies?
Why are we going to do that? We're not.
So it's strawberry
It's
preserves.
strawberry
Okay.
preserves.
All right.
Strawberry jam.
Strawberry jam.
Okay.
More peanut
then
butter.
More peanut butter. This is that mixture I just told you about. You put half of it in the bottom of this, and the other half you're going to kind of dollop on the top like this. And I won't go through all of this because we're probably running short on time. But you just spread that around evenly. Then you take another cup of peanut butter morsels.
Wow.
And sprinkle over the top of that. You bake it at 400 for 40 minutes, and you let it cool completely before you cut it into bars. And I had a whole big pan of this when I came in this morning, and I only have one small plate left. It got raided.
All right.
It's
Not surprised.
really good. It's really good.
So for the purpose of TV, let's go ahead and show everybody the final results there. Those are the peanut butter
And jelly.
galore cookies.
Oh, they're addicting, I can tell you.
Those.
And kids really love them.
And then we got the dip, which is really nice. A fancy bowl. That does look really, really good.
It's good.
Looks filling too.
And like I said, it's very easy.
And the old pasta salad and artichoke salad. Very easy to make.
Very easy.
Can
They're
feed a lot
all
of people,
easy.
and again, all the stuff filling. Well, Marcia, as always, we cannot thank you enough. And folks, you can go online and see all these recipes by logging onto gfb.org/recipes. The list just continues to build, so don't ever send us an email and say there's not enough recipes on there.
Plenty of
There's
recipes on
plenty of
there.
recipes and ideas on there. Marcia, so
Thank you,
good to see
Ray.
you again. Happy tailgating. Good luck to your Tigers.
Yeah, well, we
And
don't want to talk about that.
good luck to the Bulldogs. Folks, we'll see you next month.
Piece by Delicate Piece, science takes shape in the fight against weeds. This is the new Weed Diagnostic Center on the UT Ag campus. Here researchers wash plant samples and then work to identify the species and do herbicide resistance tests. This facility will serve professional industries like golf courses and athletic fields, as well as homeowners and farmers.
Anyone that manages land deals with weeds. Weeds are everywhere, and we're certainly open to working with any sort of stakeholder, whether it's in Tennessee or even across the United States, in terms of helping them with the weed management issue.
Dr. Jim Brosnan is head of the Turfgrass Weed Ag Research and Extension Program at UT's Institute of Agriculture. He says some weeds develop a resistance to herbicides, their way of fighting nature. The center will include testing standards to help deal with these stubborn and harmful plants.
The process is relatively simple. We have resistant standard, so that's a weed that we know is resistant to a particular herbicide, and then we have a susceptible standard, a weed that we know is susceptible to that particular herbicide, and then an unknown plant.
Then UTIA experts can get a read on whether the unknown plant is susceptible through further tests, even looking at plant DNA. And this can happen in a matter of days. In the past, these tests often took 4 or 5 months. Also, summer will be ending soon, but don't think the testing will stop in the Weed Diagnostic Center. This indoor growth chamber enables researchers to house and study weeds year-round.
So we use a facility that allows that proper temperature, proper humidity. We do maintenance on the plant just like you would out in the field when those weather conditions are appropriate.
As this new center gets going, testing will be done on turf, ornamentals, urban landscapes, and crop production systems. In all these areas, weeds are a threat and a burden. And more information about these troublesome plants means better control and management. This is Charles Denny reporting.
Well, finally today, are you itching for cooler temperatures to get here?
Or are you itching from something growing in your backyard? Here's Walter Reeves to the rescue.
Hey everybody, I'm Walter Reeves at Woodlands Garden in Decatur. And one of the things I know you face when you hike in the woods or just go in your backyard is, what is poison ivy and what isn't? Well, today we're going to solve the mystery. All you have to know how to do is to count and to observe. Now let's first look at some things that look like poison ivy but aren't. First one, box elder maple. Now this is a tree, and that's the best observation you can make. Yes, I know it has 3 leaves, and we all remember the poem of leaves of 3, leave it be. But if you look at box elder maple right here, you can see it has a stem that's red all the way down to the main stem, and when it grows, it's more tree-like than anything else. So it's a box elder maple. All right, let's look at another vine. Here's one, leaves of 3 again, 1, 2, 3. But I observe as I looked up and down the stem that it has thorns. And those thorns tell me this is just a bramble, a wild blackberry or something like that. So even though it has the leaves of 3, nope, that's not poison ivy either. All right, let's look at another one. Oh, here's a vine right here, and I see it all the time in the woods, and I count the leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaves of 3, leave it be, leaves of 5, stay alive. Okay, so leaves of 5 tell me that this is Virginia creeper. Now, Virginia creeper is sort of like I was when I was a kid. I hung out with a bad crowd, and Virginia creeper hangs out with a bad crowd. You'll often see it mixed in amongst the poison ivy, but Virginia creeper is not a bad thing at all, not poisonous in the least. So do we have some poison ivy here? Sure we do. Right here. Leaves of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Does it have a red center where all these leaflets come together? Because these truly are leaflets rather than this being the leaf and these individual things being leaflets. Look at the center. See where all the leaflets come together, how red and purple it is right there? Yeah, that means that's poison ivy. And if I see a very hairy vine growing up inside of a tree, that's probably poison ivy too. Leaves of 3, 1, 2, 3, poison ivy, leave it be. But what if you see poison ivy in your landscape and you want to get rid of it and you don't want to get that poison ivy rash all over your skin? I'll tell you an easy thing you can do. Get some plastic, like the newspaper comes in, you know. Put it around your hand like this, and you can hold poison ivy in your hand all day long. You can pull it up all day long. It just gets on the plastic. Watch me. I'll take the leaves of the poison ivy, pull it out of the ground, pull the plastic back over, and there's my poison ivy in the bag and no rash for Walter. Don't forget, there's lots more garden tips just like this at the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Walter, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Take care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week right here on the Georgia Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.